Hello everyone. So our next topic is the permeability of soils. So the first of all, what is permeability? So permeability is the ease with which a fluid can flow through any medium. And if we are talking about the soils, so the fluid becomes mostly water and the medium becomes soil. So we can define permeability as ease with which water can flow through soils. So because these soil particles are interconnected and there are some pores between them, so these pores make a complex structure and they are interconnected also, so the water can flow through these pores. So it means that if the pores are of larger size, large pores are there, then permeability is more. Similarly, if small pores are there, then permeability will be less. So depending upon that, gravel will have maximum permeability in general, and sand will have less than that, and silt will have less than sand, and clay will have the least permeability. And if the structure in clay, if we talk about the clay structure also, so if the structure is flocculated, so flocculated structure more will have more permeability because pores will be of larger size. And if the structure is dispersed, so it will have less permeability than the flocculated one. So all these factors affect the permeability through the soil. So we'll see all these factors in detail. There are some other factors also that affect the permeability, so we'll understand those factors. So why do we need to calculate the permeability? Because it helps us to understand and solve the engineering problems, and some of those examples are the seepage through embankment dams. So embankment dam, if earth dam is constructed with some soil, so uh, seepage will take place through this soil, and below this dam also seepage will take place through this soil. So if we know the permeability, then we can find out the quantity of water that is going to be lost through the permeability, and we can take suitable measures to prevent that water to be lost. So that way we can use the permeability of soil. And in settlement calculation, so if we know the permeability, and because we know that because of pore water pressure some stresses are developed, but the pore water stresses are, they dissipate with time. So pore water will go out with time, and that time, how much time it will take for that pore water to go out, it will depend upon the permeability. So if permeability is more, then the pore water will go in less time, and if permeability is less, then that pore water will take a lot of time. So depending upon that, settlement will take place. So if we know the permeability, so we can correlate the results with the settlements. And similarly, subgrade, if some highway is there, so we want to properly design the drainage for it, so in that also we have to know the permeability of the soils. So Darcy first understood this concept, and he gave some relation by conducting some tests. So I'm just explaining in brief what kind of test he conducted. So if it is a soil sample, and if we insert a piezometer in the soil at this point and at this point, and it is on some datum, so the water will take place. So this piezometer will give us the pressure head, and from the datum if we measure the total head, and let's say total head here is H1 and total head here is H2. So the flow will take place because of the difference in this total head. So the difference in total head, let's say that is delta H, H1 minus H2. So flow will take place due to this pressure head, and let's say the length of flow is L. So and this is the soil sample of area A. So he concluded that the discharge through this soil is proportional to this hydraulic head and inversely proportional to the length of flow and again proportional to the area of flow. So this delta H by L here is known as the hydraulic gradient, and this is the area of flow. So Q is proportional to the hydraulic gradient is denoted with I. So Q is proportional to IA. And one more thing to notice here is the main assumption in this is the flow is laminar. So this assumption is valid for almost all the soils except coarse gravel. So if the flow becomes transient, then this condition will not be fulfilled and we cannot use this principle directly. So there is this assumption that flow is laminar, and so this flow comes out to be proportional to the hydraulic gradient times area, and the constant of proportionality here is it is known as the coefficient of permeability. And denoted with K. So Q is equal to KIA, and if we divide discharge by area, so we get the velocity. So velocity is equal to Ki and Q is equal to KIA. And from here we can define the coefficient of permeability as, so it is the velocity of flow under the unit hydraulic gradient. So if we put the I is equal to 1, so whatever the velocity we'll get, that will be our coefficient of permeability. So its unit is the unit of velocity, and in case of soils it is generally taken as centimeter per second. So there are some general values for this coefficient of permeability right here. So if it is a gravel, and for its K value in centimeter per second, so for gravel it is greater than 1, for sand it is 1 to 10 to the power minus 3, for silt it is 10 to the power minus 3 to 10 to the power minus 6, and for clay it is less than 10 to the power minus 6. So the gravel and sand are termed as pervious, and the silt is slightly pervious, and clay is termed as impervious. So these are some general values, and now in this velocity is equal to Ki. Now one thing to notice here is this velocity of flow, we are saying it is taking place through the whole area, but in the soil the velocity, these particles will flow only through the voids, they will not flow through the whole area because soil particles are there. So this is also called as the superficial velocity. So this is the superficial velocity. Actual velocity will be, let's say that is V velocity Vs. So we can write that from the equation of continuity, if actual velocity is Vs and area of flow will be the area of pores, and from equation of continuity it will be equal to total area into the superficial velocity, because for the same discharge this condition will be fulfilled. So from here we can see that Vs is equal to AV upon volume area of voids. So in this equation we can write it as superficial velocity divided by area of the voids divided by total area. So because soil voids are very small, so in that case volume of voids is almost equal to the area of voids, and total area can is also can be written as the total volume. So we know that volume of void to the total volume is the porosity of the soil. So from here we can say that the seepage velocity is equal to V by N, and the value of porosity is less than 1. So seepage velocity that is Vs is always more than superficial velocity. So this is it for the Darcy's law, and there are some methods for the determination of permeability. So there are laboratory methods. So in that there will be constant head permeability test, which is done using the permeameter, and similarly variable head permeability test. So these two will be the laboratory methods. In field methods there are pumping tests. So there is pumping out test and there is pumping in test. So pumping out test is used to find out the permeability of the whole area as the average permeability of a large area. So there will be a well and we'll pump out the water, and according to that we'll find out the permeability. We'll see this test in detail. And similarly there is pumping in test. So in this test is used to find out the permeability of a small area next to the well. And some indirect methods are also there for the calculation of permeability. So if we know the one indirect method is if we know the particle size and specific surface. So the permeability can be found out, and the other method is from the consolidation test data. So if we know the consolidation test data, so from there also we can find out the permeability. So we'll see some important tests from these in the upcoming videos.